Barbara O'Neill, a renowned health educator, has researched and pointed out that certain foods can harm the gut, increase inflammation, and disrupt the gut microbiome, leading to health issues like chronic fatigue and irritable bowel syndrome. These foods not only affect digestion but can also weaken the immune system and cause unwanted symptoms. In today's insightful session, we will uncover the foods that can harm the gut and negatively impact your health. By changing your diet and lifestyle, you can help your body heal itself and prevent chronic health issues. This will destroy your gut. Barbara O'Neill reveals the secret to a healthy gut.
We're going to go on a journey through our gastrointestinal tract. It's a fascinating journey and a misunderstood journey. And I love the proverb, Proverbs 14 verse 6, where the Bible says, knowledge is easy to him that understands. When you understand the gastrointestinal tract, you automatically have the knowledge on how to treat it. And we begin with the mouth. That's the first organ. We don't think of the mouth as an organ, but this gastrointestinal tract is a hollow tube. It's considered an external environment. We know that the skin is an external environment. Anything that touches the skin isn't part of us till it gets through to the blood. Same with the gastrointestinal tract. Anything that goes into the gastrointestinal tract is not part of you or me till it gets broken down into tiny little substances that absorbed into the blood. In our first lecture tomorrow, we're going to be looking at diabetes, and I'm going to show you what happens once the nutrients get into the blood. But tonight, we're going to have a look at that amazing, even astonishing process of what changes what's on our plate to microscopic little substances that get into the blood. So let's begin with the mouth. And the mouth is where digestion begins. And a lot of people don't realize that digestion begins in the mouth. And the pH, or the acid-alkaline balance in the mouth, is alkaline. And there are two enzymes that are released in the mouth that start the digestion of certain foods. One enzyme is lingual lipase. Lingual lipase is an enzyme that's released from the sublingual glands, and lingual lipase, it only breaks down one food, and that food is saturated fat. Saturated fat is unique in that the breakdown begins in the mouth. As you will see as we go down our gastrointestinal tract, all the other fats, their breakdown happens way down under the action of bile from the liver and pancreatic lipase. But saturated fat is unique in that the breakdown begins in the mouth. So what's a saturated fat? A saturated fat is butter, a saturated fat is coconut oil, palm oil, shea butter. In macadamias, there's a little bit of saturated fat. So in a lot of nuts, there's a small amount of saturated fat. Those fats are unique in that the breakdown begins in the mouth. A lot of people have shied away from the saturated fat.
When you eat foods containing fats like butter and coconut oil, your body uses a special digestive process to absorb and process them efficiently. This can help the gut work more smoothly, support nutrient absorption, and reduce issues like bloating and indigestion. Saturated fats not only provide energy, but also improve digestion, which is often overlooked. In fact, cultures such as the people of the South Pacific Islands, despite consuming large amounts of saturated fat from coconut oil and other natural foods, do not face cardiovascular or digestive problems. This proves that not all saturated fats are harmful. How we consume them and combine them with our overall diet is the determining factor. These cultures not only live healthily, but also have strong digestive systems and do not face chronic diseases. On the other hand, processed foods, containing refined sugars and artificial oils, are truly dangerous enemies to gut health. These foods not only lack nutrients, but also harm the gut microbiome, a vital factor in digestion and protecting the body from disease. Consuming too many of these foods can cause inflammation and imbalance in the digestive system, leading to issues like bloating, indigestion, and even irritable bowel syndrome. Additionally, refined sugars and artificial oils can stimulate the production of inflammatory compounds in the body, damaging the stomach and intestinal lining, making it harder for the body to absorb nutrients and reducing the digestive system's ability to repair itself. To nourish the body and restore digestive function, it is important to minimize the consumption of processed foods and replace them with natural, fiber-rich foods that are packed with vitamins and minerals. Foods like vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and fermented foods not only help maintain gut health but also support the immune system and improve overall health. Choosing natural foods not only improves digestion, but also helps the body maintain balance and sustained energy.
In fact, some of the symptoms are diarrhea, some of the symptoms are constipation. It's called irritable bowel, and that's the connection with chronic fatigue syndrome. The person's not getting the nutrients out of their gut and into their blood, so no wonder they've got no energy. You see, God made it so that we've got strong acid in there to wipe out any harmful pathogens. But oh dear, the person's drinking with their meals. Oh dear, the person's eating all day long. They're stressed out with their meals. So hydrochloric acid's low, so the microbes are getting through. It's all right, we've got another system further down to protect. It's the gut flora. Oh no, they've lost their gut flora. Can you see the two processes to protect the blood have both gone down? And so harmful pathogens can get into that blood. So how do we heal from irritable bowel syndrome? Number one, stop. Stop the foods that irritate the lining of the gut. What are the foods that do that? Caffeine, refined sugar, the hybridized wheat, dairy. I acknowledge that Lulabelle in the paddock eating organic grass who gets milked and made a proper cultured yogurt out of it, that can be healing to the gut. But there aren't many Lulabelles in the paddock. If you were to feed the milk in the supermarket to a newborn calf, the calf would die. So sorry, you can't even compare to what's in there. You're best keeping away from it. People say, what milk do you drink, Barbara? I say, I'm weaned, I eat food. Milk is for babies. We're the only creature that drinks milk past babyhood. Number one, stop all the things that can irritate that lining. Number two, take a probiotic. What's a probiotic? A Lactobacillus acidophilus bifidus bacterium supplement. Do you know they are the two permanent bacteria that live in your gut? All the others come from those two. Number three, do you remember Psalm 103 verse 14? God made herbs for the service of man. There are two herbs that coat, soothe and heal the lining of the gut, and they're both a bit slimy because the lining of the gut is sliming. I think we all know aloe vera. And aloe vera has a growth stimulant. It stimulates rapid healing in the lining of the gut. The other herb, when you put water with it, it just goes a bit slippery. It's called Slipperyelm. And Slipperyelm coats, soothes and heals the lining of the gut.
Another crucial element is fiber, which plays a key role in maintaining gut health. Fiber not only improves digestive function but also aids in detoxification, prevents constipation, regulates blood sugar levels, and lowers cholesterol, contributing to overall health improvement.
It's important to eat the three essential food groups. What are the three essential food groups? Fiber. Fiber is an essential nutrient because, as you will see after the break when we go to the colon, that fiber is important to stimulate peristalsis, and that fiber is important to sweep the colon because there's all these little folds in the colon, as you'll see in my last drawing. So fiber is important. Fiber slowly releases the glucose, so it keeps the food in the stomach for longer. And it's in the fiber part of food, because all plant foods have fiber. You'll get a concentration of your minerals and vitamins, which are very important in the functioning of the body. And what we're starting to do now, we're moving down through the small intestine, and halfway down the small intestine, all our nutrients are absorbed, if they've had that effective breakdown. All that should be left after that coming down here is insoluble fiber. And that insoluble fiber is important, as we will see when we get into the colon. I want to show you what happens in what we call the grand finale of digestion. This is the small intestine. The small intestine is lined with villi, looking like little fingers actually. And that villi has a blood capillary network all the way through it. So I'm going to, hopefully this will work. I'm just getting to know this. Yes, we've got blood. There's the blood capillary network that is all through the little capillaries. Now remember I said to you that anything that goes into our gastrointestinal tract is not part of you or me until it gets broken down to tiny particles. Then it becomes part of you and me when it gets absorbed into the blood. Turf wall is made of Lactobacillus acidophilus and bifidus bacterium, called our microbiome. And when we were in our mother's utero, our gut was sterile, no bacteria there. But when we were born, we were literally showered with our mother's microorganisms. And those microorganisms, Lactobacillus acidophilus, bifidus bacterium, they're the two permanent ones, and from them all the thousands of others are made. And these microorganisms are responsible for the final breakdown of our food. But didn't the breakdown happen with our enzymes? It certainly did. But these microorganisms, they're responsible for the release of our B vitamins. These microorganisms are responsible for the production of melatonin. And as we'll find out later in the week, melatonin is an important hormone that helps us sleep at night. These microorganisms are also important in the production of glutathione. And glutathione is a very potent antioxidant, called the most potent antioxidant. These microorganisms are also responsible for the absorption of the nutrients out of our gut and into our blood. These microorganisms are also important for the nourishment of the cells that line the gastrointestinal tract. These microorganisms play another role. They protect the blood against any harmful pathogens that may be in the gut. You might have heard the quote of Hippocrates, called the father of medicine. He said, all disease begins in the gut. Because these microorganisms, they play an integral role, yes, in the protection of our blood, but also in that final breakdown, but also in the absorption. It is said in an assessment of Alzheimer's that many Alzheimer patients are lacking B vitamins. Are they lacking B vitamins because they're lacking gut flora? Many things that people are taking today are killing off the gut flora. Antibiotics. Okay, let me just master this. Here we go. Antibiotics. Yes, they kill the good and the bad alike. One writer said, when a person takes an antibiotic, it's like they're dropping an atomic bomb in the gastrointestinal tract. What did the atomic bomb do? It killed the good and the bad alike. I'm not against antibiotics, but I believe most people should have about 2 courses in their lifetime. How many people are having 2 a year? I raised all my children without antibiotics and they're all still alive. Every different fibre feeds a different probiotic. Did you know that 10 different types of apple will produce 10 different types of fibre, which will feed 10 different types of microorganisms? Count your fibre selection at each meal. We should be having at least 7 different types of fibre every meal. So in my breakfast this morning I had apple, that's one type. I had grapefruit, another type. I had almonds, that's another type. I had chia seed, another type. I had Brazil nuts, wow, that's 5 different types. I had avocado, that's another one. I had some crackers, wow, I easily got my 7. Count them every meal. How many different types of fibre you are getting. In my series that I did in Andalusia, it was mostly a homeschool families. It was out in a big tent and I was teaching them about their prebiotics, their fibre. So I said one morning, okay, how many different types of fibre do you have for breakfast? And this little boy jumped up and said, 26. I said, what? I said to his father, 26, and his father went, he's having as many different types as possible. All those different types of fibre feed different microorganisms in our gastrointestinal tract. fascinating. So that's how you can rebuild your gut flora by, yes, probiotic foods, but also by looking at the selection of fiber that you have every meal.
To ensure effective digestive function, you should allow enough time between meals to rest. The ideal time between meals is about 5 hours. Additionally, drink water between meals instead of during meals, as drinking water during meals can dilute stomach acid and affect digestion. Some ways to stimulate the body to release hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes are to drink fresh lemon water before meals. Just drinking 1/3 of a cup of diluted lemon water will help enhance digestion. Ginger tea is also very useful, as ginger can stimulate the body to produce digestive enzymes. You can drink 1/3 of a teaspoon of fresh ginger in a cup of warm water before meals to support digestion. When food enters the stomach, the pyloric sphincter closes until the food is properly broken down. This valve only opens when the stomach senses that the food has been digested enough and then allows the food to pass into the small intestine. However, if you eat more food between meals, the stomach will continue to process the food, which can lead to undigested food remaining in the stomach by the end of the day. This can create a favorable environment for fermentation, causing discomfort. You will likely notice that when you provide your body with the right conditions, your digestive system has a remarkable ability to heal itself. Start nurturing your body with a diet rich in fiber and foods that protect your microbiome. Remember, our bodies have a powerful ability to recover when properly cared for. Thank you for joining this journey of discovering natural healing methods for gut health. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more natural health tips and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.